Okay, just showing an update on the pumpkins. These are the pumpkins. They are getting so huge. Let me get down here and you can actually see the true size of them. It's still another like 15 days before I can technically plant them. See others? I can't see on my camera. Let me see if I can block the sun. Yeah, okay. So you can see them here. These were the last ones that came up. And we'll probably still get a freeze anytime before Mother's Day, which is May the 14th. So I am waiting until that time for it to be safe. And I did a video yesterday on these hibiscus cuttings. One of my subscribers asked if I put anything on them besides just putting them in the water, and the answer is no. But after I did it, I did watch another video and they suggested, let me get one out, that you just take a little knife or fork, spoon, anything you have, and scrape like 1.5 to 2 inches of the branch on the bottom, just so it's easier for the roots to start. So I wanted to go ahead and show that. I told the subscriber that I would do the next video I did on changing the water, but I'm gonna go ahead and show it now so you can see where I have scraped it. Not a whole lot, I didn't want to damage it, but just scraped it enough to take a bit of that outside off. And I pretty much did that to all of them. So hopefully that will help the roots start faster. I'm gonna have to water all these plants this morning, so I'll do that. Like a bit of a spider web there. I'm assuming that's what it is. Okay, and I don't know if that's spider web or some other thing that I don't know nothing about gardening. I squished it. Something came out, so maybe it was not a spider web. So anyway, yep, that's it. Now I have to go and I'll try to hold the phone up while I'm turning around so I don't make you dizzy. The water fountain is going good. And the hummingbirds are still coming. They flew off a second ago when I came out. Those are the 2 compost bins. I'm gonna have to open them up, and I will go ahead and drag this over there. It's got a lot of rainwater in it that I can put in those plants, so I'll do that in a minute. But I'm gonna have to open those up and take everything out, put everything back in just to turn it. Do the same thing for that. Let's see, still way too early for the onions to start coming up. Those are the bunching onions, And again, those are all ready for me to, when I get ready to plant them, I just have to mix some top layer soil and mix together, put it on it, and then plant in it. Fertilizers are still good. You cannot smell this fish one at all with this air tight thing on it at all. You cannot smell it. And still too early for the cilantro to come up. The beets are starting to come up. Check that out. Now, I did put quite a few seeds in it, and I know I will have to separate some, but I have more buckets in there, more planters that I can use. But yeah, they're starting to come up. All right, parsley, still too early for them to start coming up. These are carrots. There's things growing in here. You can see my finger here. Is that cat from the carrots? I don't know. I never planted carrots before. You can see right here, all right here. Somebody tell me, are those carrot tops? I don't know. I have no idea. Hopefully you can see them. Okay, so my honey has gone and got his mower out of the trailer, cargo trailer. That's where he keeps the mower in. And where is he? There he is. Way down there mowing. He tries to keep it pretty decent because it grows so freaking fast. And then if it grows too fast where he doesn't cut it in between, he's got to go over 3 or 4 times. And as you can see, we have a lot of the property back there to mow. This is just on the one side. So, yeah, he's over there mowing by our fence. He's over there waving. Let's see if I can make it bigger. There he is. So I've watered all of these. Looking good. All looking good. They're all watered. Now I've taken like the top layer of compost off, where I keep putting more and more scraps, and then adding just a regular dirt over it. And I'm getting down now where you can see where it's starting to compost real good, where it's starting to turn black. See the difference? So that's where I'm like, underneath here is a lot of table scraps, and then I put the dirt over it, because nothing's going to compost on top of it, it's above ground, so then I put the dirt over it. But this was all, that whole first part that I was showing you videos of, it's starting to compost. So I'll take all of that out, put it in there, turn it over real good, and put it all back, and then do the same for this one. So I took some more out, and as you can see, it's all composting really good, turning dark. Actually, and I don't smell anything from it except for, I threw like a big box of raisins in a while back. the date went out. And so that's the only thing I can really smell. You can see it's all composting really good. Okay, so as you can see, let me give it a minute. Okay, as you can see, I'm getting down toward about a third from the bottom. It's composted good, but it is too wet with all of the rains we've been getting for the last 3 days. I hope my finger ain't in the way. For the last 3 days. So I'm gonna get the rest of that out. I'm gonna leave it sitting in here for a couple of hours so some of that wetness can dry. I want it damp. I don't want it soaking wet. So I got to get the rest of that out, get it in here, let it dry a couple hours, mix it all up, put it back, and then start the other one. Okay, as you can see, I've taken more out. Where I was saying it is composting, but it is still way too wet on the bottom. There's actually standing water in the bottom from all the rain. So what I'm going to do is when I get this out, I'm going to pull the trash can out because the trash can is buried like halfway in the ground. So I'm going to take it all out. I'm going to put some more dirt and wood chips and sticks and stuff underneath. And then I'm going to put the trash can back to where it's only sticking a third in the ground and not halfway in the ground. And that will help keep a lot of that water out and draining, and yet the worms can still come up it. So stay tuned. Okay, got the trash can outside of the hole, and you can see all the water sitting in there. You can see how far I had it buried. So you live and learn. I had it buried too far. I'm only gonna do it like halfway of that. And so I'm gonna get a bucket, I'm gonna go around, and I'm going to find some more dirt and wood and stuff like that to put in it to hold it up, and let all this sit for a couple hours. Be back. Okay, so I've added more dirt, probably about 2 more gallons of dirt. I'm utilizing what I have. All of these I pulled up from in here where it's all trying to grow in here. Let's see, utilizing the whatever I've got for the backfill, because I know once I put everything back in it, that's all wet from all the rain. So then I got this bucket of leaves and sticks and stuff put in it. It all settled down. So let's just do that. Try not to make y'all so dizzy. Then I got all that mud and shit on my nails, or what's left of them anyway, since I wiped them off. That way the worms can still come up. And now, because it's got the hose, so the worms are still working its way up. Stick that in there, sorry. I gotta swing my arm around. And as you can see, it's still in the hole. And I'll let that sit for a couple hours, let it dry some, and put it back in. And then I'll have to come back later because my hose that I had Lee put in for me was up to where I was going to bury it, because there's the last hole. So I'll have to come back and make some more hose. I'll just use my burn thingy and make more holes around it. And yeah, so I can't start on this other one here until some of that gets dried up. I've got mud all over my phone. Okay, so I've started on this one. So what I decided to do, instead of waiting hours for this to dry some, I have started taking several scoops of this, putting it in there, because this needs to be more wet, this needs to be more dry. And I started taking some scoops of this, putting it in here, and then putting a couple scoops of the wet in here, and then back and forth, and that's what I'm gonna do, so that I don't have to add any water. And this will be mixed with the wet and dry, which will help it a whole lot. So that's what I'm doing. And we've got more dry now from in there. And I'll do this with one hand. And then put some more wet. And we will just continue this until we get them both done and mixed. So that's my plan. Okay, so we're almost finished. Now, this is already finished here for the day, what I'm doing to it. The rest of this will go inside of here. And I did pick up this tub to see how much water was in the bottom and stuff, and it wasn't too much water, but it was a whole bunch of worms, so I just left them and put it back in place. It needs to go over a little bit more, I think. So I'm almost finished with this. Once I get this in here, I will close it up, and I won't do anything else to it. I won't add anything else to it. I will just let it finish composting, and hopefully in another month and a half it will be either done or close enough that I can use it if I need it, which of course I'll need it because I'll be adding a little bit at a time to my garden, to my plants. Okay, so they're both done, they're both rotated. Now I just gotta put the lids on them and then leave them for about a month and a half. And Lee is way back in there weed eating. Okay, so let me show you what I'm doing with these and the duct tape. These are the copper coated like scouring pad things. You're just going to pull them apart. That you're going to cut it. Okay. You can either use that or you can use that. I'll just leave this here and let me show you what I'm doing with them. Okay, so this is what I'm doing with them. And I'm doing this to every one of the legs. So slugs will not cross the copper coated wire thing there, whatever you call it. And the tape, you wrap the tape around the leg backwards or inside outwards, whichever way you want to say it, so the slugs won't go past that and ants won't go past that because they'll get stuck. So if you do that to every one of the legs, you won't have to worry about ants or slugs going up the table legs up onto your plants. Okay, so I got finished with my trellises that I made out of just the branches and jute. So you can use string, whatever you want. Cut up an old t-shirt, or whatever you want to do. And so that one's for the tomatoes. That's for the okra. That is for the green beans. And that one is for the cucumbers. And once they start growing, if I need to add a couple more sticks like outward, I can just add them to it. Oh, sorry. And Lee is way over there mowing the bank. I got it zoomed in. He's over there waving. And I stuck my finger in it again. And inside that shed right there is where we have our manures drying out. There's a horse, chicken, and rabbit manure drying out in there on cardboard. For the magical garden.